G'day folks, I've just been doing a bit more work on the Mercedes. I finally decided to name her. Her name is Elise, a lovely name, and she's getting new tyres on the rear now. I've already done the front ones. I know there isn't much video to go with it, if any, but I'll at least do a quick tyre fitting video if I can. Yeah. Very nice looking design, certainly not that dated compared with some manufacturers of the era. Yeah, the MW163 M class is still a very nice looking design for an SUV. Very smooth, not overly complicated. Yeah, fairly big, very serious looking design. It's all ladder frame chassis, single separate chassis compared with the more modern ones, which are a monocoque body, single body shell. You can see one of the body mounts there, another one on the other side. Yeah, this is a traditional four-wheel drive build. I mean, looking back to front, you can see the rails that run lengthways either side of the well, the exhaust system, fuel tank, in the centre driveline, the tail shaft, rear differential, transfer case, and so on. She's pretty well built. You could say she's got a pretty big bum, but she knows how to get it moving real damn quick. She's not slow. Tiny little spare tyre. I'll see how that compares in diameter to the 265/70s that I'm fitting at the moment. She's currently got 255 65s, and I'm going one up in diameter and one up in one up in profile, one up in width. So it's within the law, and definitely fits. But I just noticed the passenger front ever so slightly rubs on the plastic wheel well trim, so I've got a feeling it's collapsed a little bit and is just touching the tread blocks. I'll locate the problem later on. I'll see if the space saver spare is close to that diameter. I don't think it will be, so it can either stay where it is or I'll just remove it completely to lighten the load a bit, like remove it and the carrier. I can't fit a full-size spare in here, and I'm going to have to make a bracket to mount one inside the trunk, but that's not too bad. I do like having a full-size spare, considering this one's very old and quite well worn. She's probably had a few flat tyres in her time, and they've made full use of this dinky little donut spare. It's about that wide. Not something you want on an SUV. Likewise, pulling chunks of mud out of this cross member indicates she's had a bit of fun off-road too, which is not a bad thing. These do really well off-road. They're surprisingly capable. Got low range transfer case. I don't think there's no low that I can understand. It's just high-low. So you get like a 50-to-1 reduction ratio. You don't get any kind of super low rock crawler speeds, but you do get a like a 2-to-1 reduction ratio. Not 50-to-1, 50%. Like 50% reduction, something like that. I have tried it. It works. The system activates and operates properly. Yeah, that's trailer power. I don't know where the electric brake module connects unless it's through there. Yeah, it's all in there. There's another rear body mount. And the rear end is obviously independent. Coil spring with shock absorbers. There's an upper wishbone and lower wishbone. Yeah, pretty straightforward. All the rubbers and boots are in good nick, thankfully. I don't have to try and replace everything all at once. But the front end definitely needs lower ball joints. The one that's got the torn boot is, in my opinion, beyond salvage. It's too sloppy, and what used to be grease is now a muddy, gooey, gravelly mess. That's not going to be used again. But yeah, I'm going to do that later. and that's a new tyre size. Looks much better with them. And there's a mystery coolant leak. It's running down from up there. I think it's the fuel preheater block. Don't know. I know I've disturbed something when I replaced the coolant hoses, so I just got to find out what and replace that one. As for the rubbing, I'm not sure where it's rubbing. But I can hear tread blocks rubbing on plastic from this corner. That hard lock. Yeah, I think it's that bit in there. You just hear tread blocks rubbing ever so slightly. They're not even forcibly doing it, they're just touching. Oh well, you get that when you go a little bit oversized. Rear discs and everything look alright. Rear pads are 3/4 if not more, almost new. The rear discs again have very light surface rust and there's no signs of being remachined. It's a very light step worn into them, but that step's more like just rust. The brakes are basically new, so that's a big bonus. And these plastic liners, it's all going to have to be re-clipped and screwed. And yeah, tonight we replace tyres because they're right down to the wear bars. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. Ah, there we go. Wishbone. And yeah, I think I found out why the brake lining warning was coming on. Like at random. I wouldn't do it all the time, just every now and then it would just suddenly decide to come on. I was chasing this wire down and realised, uh-oh, you're not even connected to anything. But the end is worn flat, like it's been touching the rotor or something. I'm sure if I stuck my head down there I'd find out where it was poked in. But yeah, if I do this, that should stop the problem. I don't need a warning to tell me when my brake linings are worn out. I check my car often enough to know. As you can see, those pads still have the tapered relief on them. They're very new, so I'm not too fussed about that. Interesting, the car's been in storage for so long that the wheels had corroded on. Both passenger side ones were very difficult to get off, both driver's side weren't. So I imagine my mechanic only took those two off. The rest of the inspection he did from under the car on the hoist. That's interesting, there's some electronic modules. I think that's all to do with the ABS sensor. Yeah, it is. ABS sensor and brake lining sensor, which basically makes contact with ground when the brake pad's worn too far down. It won't be making contact with ground again apart from when I do this. There we go. That's as far as that one's going. Yeah. That's brake pad wear sensor and that's ABS tone wheel sensor, essentially. Yep. Reluctor ring, that was the term I was looking for in a previous video. I see them advertised on eBay as a reluctor ring, basically a tone wheel signal generator. Tells the ABS module how many RPM each wheel is doing and whether or not they're locked while the rest of them are still turning. So it can activate ABS or deactivate it. Very important. It's a very smart system too. Anyway, I'm going to clean this hub up with a wire wheel and likewise the other one. They're both a bit rugged. Then we look at changing tyres. Boots old but not bad. Yeah, the rubbers are a bit old, but they're not mangled or coming apart. Alright, tyre changing time. I've got airline, I've got power to the machine, everything's right. So first step, can't have air in them. It takes a lot of air to fill them up. Alright, let's see how we go using this old thing. You can see I replaced the plastic wear pads. That wasn't too hard. Clean it up, new valve stem. Yeah, definitely needs a good cleaning. I'll do the same to the other one. The old tyres are worn pretty evenly, so there's no severe issue with the rear end. A couple of repairs, there's a puncture repair there, that one too. Seen better days, but off to the scrap bin they go. And on with the new ones. Shiny new. Love the smell of new tyres. It's like any part of the car. The smell of new oil, bit of diesel fuel, fresh rubber. Beautiful. little sticky. You gotta watch that. You don't want to damage the bead. As long as it stays on top, it's fine. Need to get a good clean up, I think. But that worked well. Ready for trying to seat the bead, because as you can see there's a bit of gap between the inner and outer beads and the rim, so it can be fun. I had a lot of trouble getting the first two on, but I've got a fair idea of what to do now. Beautiful. Right, let's see if I get lucky and the beads actually take first time. If not, this could be frustrating. There we go. That worked. Sometimes not so lucky. It can be quite difficult. Now where's my valve tool? There we go. Oh, I'll put about 35 pounds in it and that'll do it. It's always fun getting big heavy tyres on cars. What I need to do is get a long M14 fine thread bolt, cut the head off and turn it into a locating dowel, or a wheel alignment pin I guess they call it. My 7 Series had one, the M Class never really did, which is unfortunate, because these are hub-centric wheels that use bolts. So lining up the bolt holes in the wheel with the bolt holes in the hub in the dark is almost impossible. At least with studs you can sort of feel your way onto there. With these, especially when the hub wants to freewheel like this one does with the park brake off, it's not fun. There we go, torque wrench time. Well, not torque wrench, we'll just use a breaker bar. You know, you do it by feel. Don't use a rattle gun and over tighten them. That's only on like the lowest power. Yeah, that's it. Job done. And she looks better already. Thanks for watching.